just have them.
But you don't understand, that's how shit goes, dude, when you're, you know, dealing with these fucking guys that rip you off, John.
Right. Get the money and get off.
The best thing to do on your fucking motor deal, okay, because the guy screwed you around, we already know that, he knows that, is to tear your engine down, get your fucking money and tell him to go fuck off. Right. Alright? There's a lot of people out there that will fuck you around, dude. We've already found that out.
The guy, he said, when I went over to Arlington.
Okay, hang on a minute, bud. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hang on. Okay, what's going on, dude? What happened?
With what? The shirt?
Your engine.
Oh. So I went over to Arlington.
Okay, you went to the Arlington. Now, this is another place, right?
Right. This guy specializes in European and
Okay, let's get this out of the way. We can't see with that there. There you go. Okay, so you've already talked to this guy before, and why didn't you bring it out there initially?
It's more expensive, and it's a hassle to take it back and forth to Arlington.
Okay. So you talked to him initially, and what did he tell you about your motor? Because let's go ahead and refresh everybody's mind. You took your motor to get it rebuilt. The guy didn't use any of your gaskets. He fucked up all your head bolts and basically put the motor together like a pile of nuts and bolts out of the junkyard. Right. We already got that. You can see that this one's too short. This one's just right. He cut the top of this one off.
This one's too long.
Okay, that one's too long. Whatever. That one's way too long. Okay, so you got fucked to the ass on the motor. We went and picked the motor up. You wrote him a certified letter, said, I want money, blah, blah, blah. What's going on?
They sent me a letter back saying that they would give me my money back. But the guy in Arlington said if they've screwed up that rear main seal, they have to do a modification to the
now the rear main seal, we're talking about the oil seal in the back of the motor,
right here,
right behind the flywheel, which they didn't even install your flywheel.
Right.
Okay, so if they fuck that up, what's going on?
He said if they didn't put, they have to drill an oil hole in the crankshaft cap. If they didn't do that, it would block the oil.
Wow.
If we tried running the engine, he said, given the fact that he's done all this, the rest of the stuff, there's a good chance he didn't do that.
Didn't do the right job.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he was supposed to do something with feeler gauges or something, and he went ahead and used What were you talking about? He said he mic'd it out and it was better instead of feeler gauges.
Well, no. What he was supposed to do was set the ring end gap.
How do you do that though?
You put the cylinder in there. You slip each ring in individually. You put the piston in on top to square it up in the block. And then you measure the gap on the.
Now, how do you measure that gap though?
With the feeler gauge.
Okay, feeler gauge, because he was supposed to do something else, and he said, "Well, I don't do it that way. I use a micrometer."
Right.
And I was told that the way that you do it, the feeler gauge is a better option than the micrometer action.
Well, the micrometer was something else. So anyway, he didn't do that because he said they're fine. He was supposed to rebuild.
What about the micrometer thing? What's going on with that?
He was supposed to check and set the clearances on the rod and main bearings.
Okay. Now, how do you do that usually?
I usually do it with crap. What's the stuff called? It's a plastic gauge.
Plastic gauge. There you go.
And you lay it on there. You torque it down. And it spreads the gauge, the plastic out to a certain thickness. You measure the width of that, and it tells you what the clearance is.
Okay. But he went ahead and said, I mic'd it out, and that's better.
This is the guy who cuts head bolts off with a hacksaw.
Wow.
So.
All right. So what's the ending story on your situation?
He still has some of the parts. So I need to get the rest of the parts.
Okay, we're going to call him today. We're going to get your parts, and everything will be hunky-dory on that. Take your motor over to the other guy. Get your money from this fucking jack-off, and be thankful to God that you're getting that.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a good thing I didn't start the engine. He said if I'd started the engine, it probably would have ruined a lot.
Probably would have ruined it.
It's likely that...
I mean, come on, dude. Look at the chamois job that he did here. Okay? I mean, that's not even bolted on.
Here, he didn't even put all the bolts in.
He didn't put all the bolts in. There might be a broken one in there. We don't know. Timing cover bolts are missing. He went to Lowe's and bought some bullshit bolts here. This bolt ain't even tight. You got this bolt loose. It's a joke, John. Get your money from the guy. If he's offering to pay you off, take the cash, get the fuck out of town, and fuck him.
Yeah.
You know, one good thing you can say is you're on Lucky Lane today. Look. All right. You see there? Lucky Lane. All right. That's where you're parked. We might get lucky and get your money back. All right?
I think so.
All right. Let's get on with better things, dude. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can see there's a lot of people out there that will fuck you around until fucking can't get fucked no more. But we're not here to talk about that, and on the other hand, we are here to talk about that because what we're doing, we're looking at a set of headlights that are on a Lexus, an E335, I believe. We're gonna go in there and look at that car. And these headlights cost $2,000 a piece if you have to buy them. Let me show you. If we look at that headlight properly, you're gonna see the little bulb inside there. This is a directional headlight. That means when you turn your steering wheel, the headlight turns with it. Did you know that?
Yes.
All right, so to purchase this headlight and to replace it, once you get in a collision accident, a brand new one costs close to $2,000. You're lucky if you can find them for $1,500, $1,800 used. Now, there's a lot of people out there that own Lexuses, and what my friend Pete's gonna do, I am gonna give you some inside tech tips and secret hints of how to fix that headlight. All right, I'm gonna tell you how to fix the headlight where you don't have to spend but about $35 and the headlight will be brand new. Let's go look at the car so we know what we're talking about.
Welcome to DIY Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Alright, so what we got here, we got a Lexus. You catching that number on the back? Is it an E335 or some shit?
RS 350.
An RS 350, okay.
X.
X?
X.
Okay, an RX 350. Now, this particular Lexus is a high-end Lexus. It's the RX 350. And all Lexuses are basically the same. They got the headlights that slide in. This is a high-end Toyota, basically, is what this is. This is a Toyota product that's high-end. Did you know that, John?
Yes.
Okay, so we got the high-end Toyota here, basically, and what we got is very expensive parts when you go to buy them, okay? So what happened to this particular vehicle, it got hit right here on the left side, pushed everything over that way, crushed the hood in, and at the same time hit the headlight, pushed that headlight that way, and of course knocked this headlight and pushed it that way. Now what happened is it broke all the tabs off of the headlight. When I say tabs, I'm talking about the headlight actually bolts into the vehicle itself. And Clown Hat's got it taped off, but we can't see it right there. There's one of the tabs up there that's broke, still bolted on there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how to fix those headlights properly, spending $35 per headlight and doing a job that's well done and saving you, the DIY guy, a lot of money. You wanna tell them how we found out about fixing these headlights, or should I?
Yeah, we called up to a junkyard and some dumbass basically gave us the information unexpectedly.
Okay, what did he say when we asked him the question?
Yeah, they're reconditioned. The tabs were busted, but all we did was we got tabs from the factory and fixed it.
That's right. And then after he finally told us, there was a hesitation of silence, like, oh, I just fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Okay, if we look at this headlight right here, we're going to see right here in this area, this is a tab on the top of the headlight that goes in, and that actually bolts the headlight in. We actually have another tab located, where's it at here? Let's find it because there's 3 of them. All right, this one here is busted. We can see that. This is the bottom one that actually clips in. All right, you see that right there, John? And then there's another one that's over here on this side, and you can see clearly that it's busted off as well right here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to fix that. The first thing we want to do is look at our headlights and notice that there is a little tab sticking out with a hole in it. Okay, that's where our new mounting tab is going to go, and it's going to bolt into that tab right there. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's the alignment hole.
The alignment hole, there you go, for the screw. And if we look at this one, you're going to see that there's 2 holes right here, and that's where that bracket goes. And then as we swing it around to the bottom, this one here is a little bit tricky. I'm going to show you how to get it off and put the new one on, but here's the hole right here for this one. So if you look right here at this tab right here, as I'm zooming in on it, you can see that this tab is completely broken off. There's also a hole right here. Do you see that, John?
Yep.
So we got 2 ways to seal that up. We can go ahead and take some 2-part epoxy glue and glue that back in, but if you don't have any 2-part epoxy glue, we can go ahead and use some black high-temp silicone to seal it as well. So we'll take our silicone and we're going to go ahead and just build that up right there, just like this, because we don't want that water to get in there. Okay, so that's built up, and that will dry and it will seal up the headlight opening, that little crack that we got. Then the next thing we want to do is we need to go to the dealership, because over at the dealership is where you're going to find all the parts necessary for rebuilding your headlights brand new. And what you're going to get the 3 brackets, and I'm going to show you those. Here's one that's in the package, and I believe this is the one that we're going to be using right here. No, that's the double one, which goes right here. And then if I look right here, this is the bracket, this is the tab that you can purchase at the dealership. All right, and there's a left and a right, so make sure that you get the right one. But this is the replacement tab that goes right here, just like that. And it also comes with the screw itself, so you're going to want to take that screw, stick it on there, and screw it down until it won't turn no more. Do not over tighten that screw. If you strip that out, then you just wasted your time. You'll have to go to a bigger screw, and we don't want to do that. So this tab here is fixed. The next thing I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to go ahead and put some more silicone under here and really build it up nice and high around this bracket so water won't get in there and leak. And now that tab has been repaired. This is where we're going to start getting a little tricky, and where my friend Pete wants to show you how to fix these tabs. If you look right here, you can see that this tab is busted off, but it's got some of the arm, I guess you would call it, some of the leftover tab left onto the mold. What we're going to do is we're going to cut that off. So the tool of choice that we're going to use to remove the excessive tab that's still on there is called an air saw. Now, if you don't have an air saw, you can use a hacksaw or anything that will cut through the plastic without breaking it. Now, when you use an air saw or any saw at all, you don't want to ride right next to the plastic on the bottom here, because that's going to give you a chance of putting a hole in it. So you want to ride just a little bit higher than what the flush level action is showing you. And then you can see, just like that we remove that tab off of the headlight. The next thing that I do, I take my 36 grit Rolo-Lock grinder, you can see that right there, and I very easily and slowly go ahead and grind that down flush. And once again, you want to be very careful and easy with it. We don't want to go through the headlight where we're going to get an air pocket like we had on this one. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and get the proper bracket that we need, which will be for our left-hand headlight. Open it up, just like so. And you can see by looking at the bracket that this has the 2 holes on it. And if you look real close on there, you'll see an L, which represents left. So we're going to take our headlight bracket, and we're going to go ahead and set it on there. As we're holding it, we're going to go ahead and take one of our small Phillips screws that is supplied with the kit, line it up with the hole, and screw it down And make sure that you do not over tighten these. And you can see that the two top brackets, which are the most common ones, are now replaced and ready for use again. Then we're going to turn our headlight over, and this is where it's going to get tricky. This is the one that you really want to be careful with, because what we're going to do with this, we're going to cut an L out. We're going to go down here and then this way. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple different cuts on it because we don't want to go through the plastic. Pop it off just like that. Now, you might get lucky and cut enough off, but more than likely you're still going to have to trim it down once you remove the bracket itself. So we're going to go ahead and take our saw one more time, being very careful not to cut into the housing. We'll bring it down this way. Go ahead and peel that off of there, because if you're using a high-speed saw, what happens is the plastic will melt back together from the heat. And then you can see right there where I cleaned it out using my saw blade as a tool to literally shave it down, very simple and easy, and clean it up without putting any holes into the housing. And then we'll do the same thing. We're going to repeat our process. Do not lose the little screw that's in the bag with it. We're going to take it just like this.
Are there holes already in there, Pete? Or those
in what?
In the headlight? Or is
there's already holes right here.
So
once again, we're going to, yes, it's a self-tapping screw. Once again, there's a little tab that's built onto your headlight if you own a Lexus, and you'll see that there's a hole already in it, which is smaller than the screw itself, because that's what would represent a self-tapping screw, that this screw right here would be a bigger diameter thread for the small hole. So don't be fooled, don't be excited, and once we do that, you can see that that bracket fits right on here. Let me get it and put it on there, just like that. This one here is probably the hardest one to put on because you got to be accurate and precise. Let me get this bracket on here. And it looks like we still got to cut some off. I'm going to see what happens here. It looks like it's still hitting the sidewall of this. So I'm going to cut some more off, being precisely careful not to damage the headlight. And you can see that it's actually a little situation that you got to be pretty precise with this, because if it's not fitting on there properly, and now I can tell that by removing that, it put my bracket where I want it to be, so everything will line up properly. Because if you don't have these lined up properly, your headlight will sit in there crooked. And then if we look right here, this bracket here actually bolts onto the vehicle itself. It's a snap-on bracket, and I'm going to show you. I went ahead and bought two of them because I thought this one here was broke, but it's not. We're going to go ahead and replace it anyway. And if you look right here, you got this bracket, which is the replacement for this one. So the only other thing we got to do is actually let our silicone dry, and then this headlight is actually ready to go ahead and bolt into the car. We just saved ourselves over $1,700 rebuilding that headlight, because if you buy a used one, they're anywhere from $1,200 to $1,700, $1,200 being the very cheap, inexpensive one that probably has scratched lens, this, that, and the other, versus the $1,700 one, which probably looks brand new. So this is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you how to save money. Do you see what I'm talking about right there? And doing it yourself so you can tell the big guy to go fuck himself like our buddy VW John did with his motor. We'll see you later. DIY Auto School. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I need all the support I can get to keep these videos coming. And it's very important that you put a thumbs up and possibly a comment on what we just did to show you how to do it right, because if you aren't doing it right, you ain't doing it at all. Kind of like your motor buddy over here. He didn't do it right. Am I right?
He didn't even try.
He didn't even try. He threw it together and it's junk.
Right.
All right. Did you learn anything today?
Well, I learned how to fix headlights on the Lexus.
There you go. That's all we need to do.
That's all right.
We also learned that dealing with shyster scumbag pieces of shit doesn't pay off. Am I right?
In the long run and the short run.
That's right. See you later, buddy.
Bye.
Thanks for watching DIY Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.